All right, welcome back. It's been a minute. Um, like I've said before, it's difficult to find time to get on here and feel like I'm just complaining. But look at this. Have you guys thought about this? Currently, what's going on with Iran and Lebanon and who's behind it? Um, I've come to this conclusion that this shit was planned a long time ago. And unfortunately, the people that a lot of us voted for are totally involved, and it was just a plan all along. I mean, we have to come to that conclusion. We could say that Trump was tricked by our greatest ally, uh, if you still believe that. But I kind of think maybe this was the plan all along. They brought Trump in to get us all pumped up, and there was going to be change, and then Biden came in, and apparently his job was to let our country be flooded with illegals and people that will not assimilate and that are not going to assimilate. And I think overall it is just part of the big plan to bring our nation down and to change the entire world. If we look at Europe and how bad it is now for people there, and currently we sort of have freedom of speech here. I mean, I guess I'm speaking freely now. And I don't think we should ever give that up in any format or any way, even if you disagree with what the person says. It's important that we have freedom of speech. But let's look at what's going on in the Straits of Hormuz and understand that it's going to cost all of us a lot more. And this isn't something that they don't know. And man, when Trump gets on there and say inflation is down, Jesus, what is going on here? And speaking of Jesus, Trump's not Jesus, and I can't believe that that image was posted. It was definitely blasphemy, and that dude has lost like the majority of his support. And if somebody's still supporting him, you are potentially retarded. I mean, I supported him. I voted for him 3 times. I'm sure a lot of you did as well, and we all had great hopes for this nation. But it looks like it as well, and we all had great hopes for this nation. But it looks like what's going on is just a long-term plan to destroy our way of life, which, guys, it's been going on for a long time. We are so far away from what we're supposed to be. And now, we're going to be seeing some big changes. And I'm hoping, and I sure hate to hope, that enough people are waking up that we can turn this ship. But the odds are that won't happen. Things will get really crappy, and then people will want to do something. I don't know about this voting. Even on local levels, it's so messed up. And the two-party system, they support their candidates that are going to toe the line. You know how many times I've heard that? Because I've been in politics. I've heard that time and time again, to toe the line. Yeah, the guy's not really that good at this, but he's one of us. Toe the line. Well, we're towing this line right into hell, and we don't have to do that. You guys just need to understand that none of this was like some by happenstance. And I think hopefully a lot of you are coming to that conclusion now, that this has been the plan all along. And when we see people that are honorable people and good people that are being torn down by our president, and he's losing his base, it's almost like, man, the dude's completely flipped and lost his brain. And I mean, maybe he's being controlled by something. I don't know, but I just kind of feel like this has always been the plan. And this massive push for these data centers everywhere should tell you all everything. And keep fighting against it. Give lots and lots of pressure, because it's going to be a surveillance grid. And I think they're going to make things really unaffordable for a lot of us. Um, and that's going to be an issue. That's really going to be an issue. And I don't know. I'd like to hear from you guys on like people being deported. Are you still seeing any kind of activity there? I feel like it's completely died off. I think it's BS. They're not doing it now, and they should be. Our system should be getting rid of illegal aliens, and they should definitely be getting rid of as many violent ones as possible, as fast as possible. And I can't even imagine why anybody on the local level would allow any of that in their community, other than if they're just a part of the system and they want everything to fail because they feel like they're going to be on top. But what really happens in a lot of the situations is they're going to get tore down. That's what's going to happen. I would rather just have a peaceful, prosperous community, meaning like our entire nation. It's not that difficult, but there are people that do not want that. And it seems to me that everything's being orchestrated by the chosen that do not want that. And it seems to me that everything's being orchestrated by the chosen. And the people that are going along with it are just useful idiots. And speaking of useful idiots, I was watching the weather earlier because it's getting kind of rough here, and we had some hail. And so I turned on some live weather on YouTube, which there's one called Ryan Hall, pretty good. And they were showing Iowa, and I was seeing all the farm ground there, and not to crap on Iowa people, but I don't know if any of you guys are aware of this, but the Iowa's got like some of the highest cancer rates in the nation. And guess what the common denominator is? It's farming. And it's crazy. You would think like if you got the highest cancer rate, that you might try to figure out what's going on and maybe stop, killing yourselves and your ground and your neighbors and your friends with these genetically modified crops and all the freaking chemicals they spray on it. But oddly enough, people just continue to do the same shit. Chemicals they spray on it. But oddly enough, people just continue to do the same shit. It's unbelievable. And then we got to take some blame. Are more and more expensive. So you have to make those changes. You have to start putting pressure on people, yourselves, I would say. Look at yourself. Like I'm buying this and it's actually bad for me, bad for my family, and start buying the other stuff, because at the end of the day, when you're supporting certain things with the dollar, that speaks volumes, and we all have to get behind that, and it's the same with politics. I see the issue. The issue is your choices are crap. You got you got this communist or you got this socialist. Essentially, that's where we're at. And you've got about a 3 to 5% of the people that are running. They're actually good. And their situation, the bad food, the shitty choices in politics, what's going on in the Middle East, and all the rising costs for all of us. It's literally all part of a plan. They used to say Agenda 20, what was it, 2024, I think, and now they got Agenda 2030. And this is, the people that believe that they have the authority to run the world and that they're the ones driving this. But the problem is so many are so stupid that you go right along with it, man. Meaning that you buy their stuff, you are totally unaware of what's going on. You don't know your rights. You watch TV and believe like the police shows that's really, how things are supposed to be. And I've literally heard people say that, oh yeah, they can do that. And they'll literally say some police show they saw, which is absolutely ridiculous. It's entertainment. Okay. But the reason why the entertainment is like that is literally to brainwash you. And it's super effective. I mean, because I hear people say it and they have no freaking clue of how to change a damn thing. Back to the data center. People don't know that if their politicians are signing non-disclosure agreements and they're making decisions and they're not telling the people that elected them, and they're just doing that. They can't do that. That's literally against the law. And you can get them out. You can't vote them out. Quit saying vote them out. You're going to vote shit out. You can get them out. You need legal means to do that. And if they're not legal means, then it's like back in the old days, you drag somebody down the street. I'm not suggesting anybody do that. I'm saying that you have alternatives that you could be utilizing, but you're not doing it. You know, there are grand juries on the our level, and start reading this stuff look up your local laws. What if my politician signs an NDA and then he's not disclosing to me what he signed, and then they're making decisions that's going to affect your health and your income, your happiness, your property. They can't do that. Okay. So start looking that stuff up, start asking yourselves the right questions, and quit saying shit like vote them out. Most of those guys don't give a crap. You're not going to vote them out. Most of them, you run a candidate against them, unless you have a serious grassroots effort at a local level. I mean, serious. And that's a lot of footwork. They're not going anywhere, because the party that they're in, they're gonna put everything behind them. They're gonna put all their money behind them. They're gonna smear campaigns, and then you'll be lucky if they actually count your votes. I can talk to you about that by personal experience. So that's how it happens. That's how it works. So get a clue, start figuring this stuff out, start understanding your rights, start putting pressure on people that are poisoning your food. Do that by saying something, okay, to them, to the person who's literally spraying the stuff. They're not heroes. They're literally dumbasses. I'm sorry, but that's just the case. They're dumbasses, useful idiots. They're going along with the system. They're being paid to do so, and they're ignorant or stupid. That's just what it comes down to. Put pressure on your politicians. It works to some degree. Understand your rights. And when your politicians aren't doing what they're supposed to, especially on these local levels and these boards that are appointed, start suing people. Start taking, looking for criminal actions against people that are breaking the law. You can do this. There's literally groups. Look for local groups, and understanding your local groups. So once it gets traction, somebody's going to come in there and sabotage it. Know who that is. I've said a lot in this, and there's details on this, but people need to start thinking. And one of the ways you can start thinking is clean up your freaking diet, because the shit in the store in the boxes is trash. You're literally destroying your brain. I'm out. Man, I'll try to get back in here more, but I'm also trying to live a life. And but I want you guys to think, man. Just get to thinking. Later.